What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I am here for the season finale of The Chi. This is season. What season is this? This is season 4, episode 10, A Raisin in the Sun. You guys, this finale, the finale, for me, it was a little lackluster, I would say. It wasn't the best finale. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say that with a finale you should have it should always end on a cliffhanger, but it just didn't do it for me personally. But yeah, you guys, before we get into the review, like this video, leave your comments. Like this video, guys. Stop taking me out on a date. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into this review. And also, you guys, Power Book 3. So that review, you guys can expect it tomorrow on Monday, at some point. I don't know when, but it'll be tomorrow more than likely. So let's get into The Chi. All right, guys. I'm not sure where I want to start up at, right? All right, so I guess I'll start up with where the episode kind of opened up. So we see Chi. Now, I didn't review last week's episode, but I did watch it. So it picks up kind of with the aftermath of Duda beating the shit out of Marcus, Gemma's daddy, right? So Trig has called Shad. Shad is picking Trig up, and we see as they are loading Marcus onto the ambulance. Now, I did notice that Marcus didn't have a sheet over his head, so I'm like, okay, obviously he's alive, probably in critical condition, right? So I was kind of surprised that the ambulance and the cops showed up, right? So then we see Trig. He goes home with Shad, and Shad, at this point, he thanks Imani for the surprise party. And she's like, is there anything else? He's like, what the fuck else is there supposed to be? She says, like, maybe an apology. But then he eventually gives her this, like, half-ass apology. And she said it's baby steps. I'm like, girl, that ain't even baby steps. Hell, a child could apologize better than that. But I guess, to keep the peace, I guess she accepted it. I probably would not have accepted that apology because it wasn't an apology, right? So then at some point in the episode, we see Trig at the hospital, and he's asking Jake and Gemma, who are there. We'll talk about them a little later. Jake and Gemma, he's asking them if Marcus is going to be okay, right? They say that, they tell him that, they don't know if he'll be okay. So then Gemma, she comes up to Trig and she gives him a big hug, right? And, she's thanking him because she's saying, she doesn't know what she'll do if her dad had died, because at this point, he's all she has. So then we also see later in the episode where Trig and Shad, they're playing cards, right? And he's talking about some dude, I guess, that they knew growing up, owing him some money. And, talking about the fact that, I guess a car that they stole, when they stole it, he got pulled over in the same car and got arrested. But then Trig, told him, see, this was interesting to me. I'm wondering if Trig is having some kind of, point in his life where he's tired of everything that he's doing to make it in life. I'm guessing he's tired of it, basically, right? So the person that they were talking about, he tells him that, he got hit by a car and he was killed. And by the time the ambulance got there and got him on there and got him toward the hospital, he died. Damn. Were they playing cards twice in this episode? Because another scene we had were Trig and Shai were in the house when Jake came in. Like I said, we're going to discuss Jake and them a little deeper so it'll make more sense what I'm talking about. So Jake comes into the house and he tells them, he told Gemma what happened, right, with her father. Shad wanted to buck up at, young Jake, talking about, so you a snitch, nigga? You a snitch? Nigga, he's sitting here telling you that there's surveillance footage showing what happened that will show Duda beating the fuck out of Marcus. But how would that implicate, here's a question that I have, though. It makes no, it doesn't, because I kept thinking about it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. unless, okay, I think I get it now, right? I think I may get it. I think I might get it. I think, I'm thinking, you guys. So, and I'm about to say it. So what I'm thinking is, because I'm like, how would Trig go? How could Trig go to jail, right? So what I'm thinking is because if they look at the surveillance footage, you'll see that Trig was right there trying to elevate Marcus's head, right, and keep him from bleeding out. But then I'm guessing maybe at some point Trig and Duda left out to leave him for dead, and then when they were outside, I guess Trig must have called the cops. So I guess that is what happened. They left a little bit out with that. I just didn't understand it, right? So then later in the episode, we see Shad and Imani, right? They're out walking, and was that the kid that killed Ronnie, that bumped into her being disrespectful, but I know you a man and all that kind of shit, and Shad made him apologize to her? I really thought something bad was gonna happen in that scene. I really truly did. We're gonna move on. All right, you guys. So next, I guess I'm gonna talk about the kids real quick. So we see Jake, and it's the next morning, and he's still reeling from what he saw when he went inside to go get his backpack, right? Now, meanwhile, we see Kevin, and remember Kevin and Lene spent the night with each other. So Lene wakes up freaking out when her phone went off. So Kevin's like, well, let me walk you out. She was like, no. And I was like, okay, this little girl has a hard time accepting help, right? So then we see Gemma. So Gemma is talking to Jake in bed, and she's telling him how, she enjoyed last night. He says, we didn't do anything. And she says, that's what I enjoyed, us being able to just be together and not do anything, right? So then she says that, she has to go before her dad wakes up. So Jake manages to tell her to stay for breakfast with, him and his family. So then we see Jake and Gemma. They went and joined Trig them for breakfast, and she overhears on the news where they talk about her dad being in critical condition, and they said that they think that this is in connection with Duda defunding the police department, right? So then we see Gemma. She went home, and she wants to look at the cameras to see what happened. So before she actually looked at the camera, that's when Jake told her exactly what happened when he went back for his bag. Now she asked him, why didn't he tell her? And he told her that, because he doesn't want his brother to go to jail. And he asked her, basically not to tell anybody, right? So then we move back over to Kevin and Lene, right? So Kevin and Lene talks, and she tells him that, oh wait, how did I get this far down? Because that is, this is when my phone started acting up. So, Kevin. Now, you guys remember I was just telling you that Kevin and Lene, she woke up, she freaked out, she was going down, she was getting ready to leave. So as Lene goes downstairs, Dre is there. And, Dre says, Lene, like, what are you doing here? And then Kevin comes down saying that it is his fault. So she tries to get both of them, wanted them to explain. Kevin is stuttering, so Dre tells him, go back to your room, Kevin, and I'll deal with you later. So then once he goes to his room, she asks Lene once again, what's going on? And Lene says that she just basically needed a place to stay. And she says, word about your brother. She says, he's gone and I don't know if he's going to come back, right? So then she says, what about you and Cherry? She says, at this point, Cherry has put her out. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit because I couldn't figure out how to put this in the review. Nina and Dre, right? So you guys know that Nina told Dre that she cheated on her with the brat, right? So one scene in this episode, Nina went to Dre and told Dre either forgive her or move on. I was like, you the one that cheated, and here you are giving a damn ultimatum. Girl, you got your entire nerve, right? So Nina says that she'll do whatever it takes to get them back to where they were. And Dre tells her, I'm good. Which honestly, I did not blame Dre in that scene. Like, girl, you got your entire nerve, right? So while Dre is talking to Lene, this is when I realized that Lene has a hard time accepting help, right? Because Dre said to her, like, Dre is telling her how her story was, right? That she was put out at around the same age Lene is, right? And she was put out because her parents died. She went to stay with her grandparents. Her grandparents didn't really gel with who she was, and the way she talked, the way she dressed, pretty much just how she was overall, right? So then she asked her to move in with them. And Lene is like not on, not really feeling it. And like, this little girl has a hard time. I mean, this little girl's had a hard life and she just doesn't know how to accept help, right? So then we see later in the episode where Lene was talking to Kevin and, she tells him that Dre asked her to move in with them. But at this point, she hasn't really made up her mind. So then we also later see Gemma. And Gemma, she went over to Jake's them, right? So she tells him that she hasn't been able to bring herself to watch the footage of what happened because there's a camera that actually faces right where the blood puddle is of her father. And she has a flash drive with her and she tells them that nobody's seen the footage and at this point nobody will. So she and Jake leave to go to the hospital, and then once they leave to go to the hospital, that's when Trig went into the house to look at the footage. So then after that we see him. He goes to see Duda, saying that that Gemma had there is footage of him doing it, and Gemma gave it to him. So now he currently is in possession of it, and he tells him that he wants him to leave and basically never come back. So Duda's like, oh nah, I'm not gonna have that, right? Like, I can take back Imani's permits with Shad. I can do whatever I can do to him, like basically telling him I could ruin your entire family. Now, meanwhile, Tracy overheard everything that was said. I was like, oh. Because I was thinking to myself in this whole scene, I'm like, the fact that Trig is sitting here threatening you, you ain't tried to take him out. But then I thought about it, I'm like, oh, Tracy's there, right? So let's move on. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit more about Duda. Now, earlier in the episode with Duda, we saw him as he was giving a press conference and they asked him about Marcus, and he says, he prays for a recovery, saying that, at this point we don't have all the facts, but we aren't investigating it. So then he brought Tracy up to speak about him now putting more money into her community outreach thing, which I still think is a dumb idea, right? So then Tracy tells her people that they got the funding to spread throughout the community, and that they'll have a block party. So then we see Duda. Now this is before. Well, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. So Duda tells Trig that he better pray that Marcus dies, and Trig says, actually, I'm praying the opposite, that he lives. So then we see Tracy. So Tracy is having this dinner with Duda, and she's asking him, is he soulless or just numb? And then she asked him, is he the reason Marcus is in the hospital? He sat there and lied and said, no, he is not. I'm like, well, god dang. I mean, you can lie with a straight face, huh? I mean, he lied like it wasn't shit. So then Tracy tells him, like, I think I'm falling in love with you. He says, you think you're falling in love with me? She says, I am falling in love with you. I'm like, girl, after one booty call? Oh, okay. Okay, Tracy, if you're falling in love with him, then you're falling in love with him. But whatever. So, damn, how do I want to do this? All right, so I've already talked to you guys about what happened with Trig, right? And the fact that he told Duda to get out of town, right? So then we later see Tracy. Tracy's upset with Duda, the fact that he lied to her. Like, girl, what did you expect? Had you not heard the rumblings about who he was in the town? But okay. So he tells her that, when he was with her, it was the first time he felt at peace, and she said the same for me. But she still tells him that he should leave. Basically, she's telling him he should leave because if Trig does take that information to the authorities, she don't want them coming sniffing around her business with that money, basically. I'm like, end it for yourself, huh? So then we see at the end of the episode that dude, he got picked up by Rose, and she says, where are we going? And he says, far away. So for right now, I believe that's the end that we're going to see of Duda. Do you guys think that Duda may show up at some point? He might. I don't know. Now here's something that I noticed at the end of the episode that I want to bring up right about now. So with Rose, I think I saw. Did we see Rose in the mayor's office? How in the hell is that gonna work? She wasn't even on his staff. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna move on. All right, guys. Let's talk about Tiffany and Emmett and Jada. So this situation with Tiffany, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's a little annoying to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So we see Tiffany. Now you guys remember in the one episode, Emmett told Tiffany either she's gonna have to make a choice, right? That it's either gonna be him or it's going to be what's old dude's name? Dante, right? So we see Tiffany, she's on the phone, and she's talking about getting labels printed for a new strain, right? So then Dante walks up with a pizza, and she asks Dante, like, what would he think if she left Emmett? He said, why would you do that? She says, to be with you, nigga. He says, hell no. Basically, he told her, hell no. Like, we two fuck buddies. Like, let's not ruin the relationship. Like, I'm your nigga. When he said, I'm your nigga, like, I'm the nigga that you come to when you having issues with your friend, your man. I'm the nigga you come to when you having issues with anybody, basically. I'm your nigga that you come to on the side, basically. And she was looking at him. I'm like, uh-huh. I don't know, like, I don't know if Tiffany knows the ins and outs of a open relationship. Now, if you were in a polyamorous relationship, then yes, you guys would all be in a relationship together. But you're in an open relationship, meaning you're having sex with people and you're not supposed to catch feelings for them. That's what that's supposed to be. But unfortunately, it looks like Tiffany's caught feelings for Mr. Dante, but Dante has not caught feelings for her. So then we see Tiffany go home, and Emmett tells her, basically, he's tired of this shit, and he's asking who she wants, and she tells him she doesn't know. So he tells her in response to that, well, guess what? I'm moving out. If you want Dante, you can have that nigga. I was like, well, damn. Tell her how you really feel, right? So then we see Emmett, he's over at Jada's, right? He's vacuuming and the phone rings and Jada's like, it's my doctor. So Jada answers the phone and her doctor, gives her news. Now, I couldn't really tell what the news was at first. Based on her facial expressions, I couldn't really tell. But she hangs up the phone. He tells her that, she tells him that the doctor said her results are looking good and that if things stay the way that they are currently, then she won't have to go through chemo anymore. So that's good. So now Emmett wants to throw a party for her, right? So then we do see Emmett as he throws a surprise party for Jada, right? So then Emmett, he meets Christian. Actually, let's throw Christian in here real quick, right? So Christian, we see him and Keisha, right? He was talking to Keisha. He said his roommate asked him, is that his girlfriend? But at this point, he doesn't know. So he went out and picked her some flowers, and he presents her the flowers and a card. And the card asks, will you be it's like a second grade, will you be my girlfriend? Circle yes or no. So Keisha takes the card, opens it, and she checks yes. So at this point, they are official. So back at the party, this is where Emmett first met him, right? And Keisha, actually, I skipped the whole scene too. I just thought about that. We saw a scene at Sonny's where Emmett was talking to Keisha. He was asking her, did she have a boyfriend? He's working Papa like, he really working Papa. I'm like, do you not know about child labor laws? But okay, Emmett, child labor laws. Yeah, I forgot about that scene, so I don't really remember the gist of what happened in that scene because I can't really 100% tell you guys about it. Or was that last week's episode? Child, I don't remember. The episodes run together. Either way go, I talked about it. Where we at? Okay. So Emmett was kind of basically feeling out Mr. Christian. He told Christian, me and you, we're going to be best friends. And yeah, he says they're going to be best friends, so on and so forth. So Dre and Nina are there, right? And they go off to talk to each other, right? So she asked for her blessing to have Lene move in with them. And Nina was like, wait a minute, number one, we're not good in our marriage. Number two, We already got too many mouths to feed. We got Kevin, we got Keisha, and we got our grandson. So we got a lot of mouths to feed, but she gave in, right? So then Tiffany we see Tiffany, she's talking to Emmett. She tells Emmett she made up a decision to close it up. He says, close up the marriage or your legs. She says, shut up, Emmett. But, he tells her that, he's learned a lot through this situation, right? How connected they are and how much family means to them. So she says, you're not going to cheat on me? He couldn't say, she said, so you're never going to cheat on me. He couldn't say, well, what about you? She couldn't say it. She couldn't say it because she's already cheating on him. So then we see Jada as she thanks everyone for coming out and supporting her. She gives a special thanks to Darnell and his Bluetooth. She gives a special thanks to Emmett, and then she gives a special thanks to Suede, right? So then we see Iman there, and which I don't know what his character's name is, so we're gonna call him Iman. So he's there, he's flirting with Tiffany, right? He tells Tiffany that, business is booming since he added her edibles. And then, he's still, like I said, he's flirting with her. He wants a little bit more than just business. I thought Tiffany was going to blow him off, but unfortunately, Tiffany did not blow him off. She just moved on from Dante to him. I was like, oh, okay. I guess. That's going to be interesting. But actually, that's the episode. Those are all my notes. Let me know what you guys thought about this season finale. It could have been better than what it was to me personally. It just could have been a lot better than what it was. But it was okay, I guess. Let me know what you guys think about it. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share the video. Until the next one, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear a mask or not, but please wear a mask. And social distance, and be blessed, you guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.